Good morning. This is Saturday morning in beautiful New Paltz, New York. I'm sitting outside here on my little deck, and I have some other companions with me. One is here, one is over there. They're both guarding the yard for any squirrels that try to come in. Very important work. I thought I'm just going to read to you chapter 1 of the White Dragon Omnibus, just for fun, if you're up for it. It starts out with a poem that is part of a warrior song that occurs in book 2. You are not shadow, dancing on the wall, disappearing at dawn, forever unremembered. You are the sun. You are not sand, blown across the plains, randomly failing, never to be found. You are the wind. You are not the island, badgered ceaselessly, hollowed and hassled, until you are gone. You are the ocean. You are not the flower, withering away in the heat of day, carelessly uprooted by a giant's hand. You are the earth. Part of the Onthok warrior song. Set me free. Book 1, Genesis. Long Beach, Long Island, 10 years ago. The sun set golden on the still surface of the water. The quiet of the morning, only occasionally interrupted by the cry of the seagulls on their hunt for food. Far in the distance, a container ship made its way down the coast, most likely to anchor at Staten Island or the Red Hook container terminal in Brooklyn. 30 feet from the water's edge, and deeply immersed in her immediate task of building a castle in the sand, sat 8-year-old Casey Byrne. Despite her father's attempts to prevent her from leaving the house unsupervised by installing child-proof locks on all the entrance doors, Casey was able to find a way to sneak out in the mornings. This time, today, she'd climbed out of her window and onto the porch roof. She'd watched her dad the day before take out the window screens, clean them, and put them back in. From the roof, she had used the lattice screen to reach the railing below and jump onto the sand. She'd opened the small cedar box next to the stairs and taken out 2 plastic shovels, a blue bucket, and several sand baking forms. From there, she ran across the walkway and down the wooden stairs to the beach. She loved the cool sand under her feet and the crunchy noises it made while she walked on it. She never went into the water during her morning excursions. She loved simply sitting there playing in the sand while imagining kingdoms and princesses and dragons. She didn't see the man at first. He came from the east along the water's edge and from there straight toward her. When she became aware of him, he was not more than 50 feet away. She used her hand to shield her eyes from the sun. He stumbled and fell, then got up again. There was no fear in her as she watched him approach. Nothing in her past experience had given her cause for it. When he fell again, he was less than 10 feet away. His face was covered in grease and dirt. His hair was filthy and his clothes in rags. He bled from several wounds on his arm and forehead. She carefully placed the bucket next to one of the castle walls, the one that faced the water, and looked at him. His eyes were blue like the ocean, or like the sky, she couldn't decide. He extended his arm toward her. From his closed fist, part of the chain of a necklace was visible. He opened his hand. At first, all Casey saw was wet sand. The man seemed to whisper something. Casey decided at that moment that she needed to see what he held in his hand. It wasn't mere curiosity. It was something bigger, something her young mind couldn't comprehend at the time. She only knew with certainty that she had to see what lay hidden there. As she came closer, she could hear what he said. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry," he repeated over and over. She took the necklace. It lay cool and heavy in the palm of her hand. For one moment longer, the man looked at her, looked into her eyes. Did he nod? If he did, it was so slight, One could easily have overlooked it. Then he pushed himself up and stumbled past her. He turned around once more. Find me. Find me in the surf and the loneliness of time. He turned again and stumbled on further up the beach. Casey was just about to fill her bucket with water to clean the necklace when her mother came running across the dunes. Casey, Casey, are you okay? Did the man do anything to you? Oh my God, you scared me. I'm fine, Mom, Casey replied. He didn't do anything, I'm fine. Mallory Byrne hugged her child as if it was for the last time. We told you not to come out here in the mornings. How did you even get out of the house? I climbed through the window and down where the vines are. I can't believe you did that. Come with me and don't even think about doing that again or you are so grounded. But Mom, nothing happened. I was just playing. I like when the sun comes up and I never go into the water. Casey saw in her mother's eyes that the anger dissipated, making room for concern. You can't come down here without us, do you understand? When you weren't in your room, I thought somebody had taken you. Taken me where? You're much too young to understand. Let's go back. Okay, Mom. When Casey grabbed the sand baking forms and shovels, Mallory saw the necklace. What's that? The man. He gave it to me. What? Don't be mad. He just gave it to me and then he left. Did he say something? He said he's sorry. Sorry? Yes, he said he's sorry. He said it 3 or 4 times. Can I keep it? Mallory took it from Casey's hand and looked at it. Hand me the bucket. Casey gave it to her. Mallory walked to the water and filled the bucket halfway. Let me see, let me see! Casey couldn't contain her excitement. Mallory held the necklace underwater. The sand came off immediately. The amulet was round, deep black, porcelain maybe, with a white dragon coiled around itself in the center. For a moment, neither of them could take their eyes off it. It's so pretty, Casey said. Can I keep it? I don't know. Mallory looked around. The man was long gone. Mom, please, I won't come down here in the mornings again. I promise. Please, can I have it? Please? Okay, here. Thanks, Mom. While they walked through the sand to the walkway, Casey pulled the necklace over her head. Why did the man say he's sorry? Mallory asked. I don't know, Mom. Maybe he wanted to keep it. The sun rose over the ocean as they walked back to the house. It did so on the next day and the day after that day. It rose every morning as weeks became months and winter came and went. It rose when Casey left for school each morning and it set when she went to bed at night. Months became years and glorious summers turned into crisp falls and the salty snows of winter. The sun rose on the day of her first kiss and set on the evening of her very first heartbreak. It painted the sky in gold and turquoise on the morning of her 17th birthday, and it set when she stood outside waiting to be picked up for prom night. The sun did not know Casey's fate and the role she would play in the years to come, the sacrifices she would have to make. It merely rose and set, only to rise again. And so it rose on the day when the end began. Bye!